Good morning, one and all. A hearty welcome to 1 week online national level faculty development program. Now we will go ahead with our program. I request Akshata Madam to take over.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning, one and all present here. Research is creating new knowledge, given by Neil Armstrong. With this quote, I am Akshata S., Assistant Professor of Commerce, GFGC GAURIBIDANUR, heartily welcome you all for the 1 week virtual national level faculty development program on research methodology in social sciences organized by Department of Commerce and Management, GFGC GAURIBIDANUR, in association with IQAC and Academic Research Group KOLAR. Before we move further, I would like to give you instructions to the participant. The participants are requested to log in to the meeting with a shared link 10 minutes before the scheduled time. And the link will be the same for all the 7 days. The program will also be live streamed in our college IQAC YouTube channel.
Higher education.
The one who cannot join via Zoom can watch via YouTube channel. Once joined the meeting, please mute yourself and turn off your videos. Any queries about the session to be put in the chat box only, which is to be considered at the end of the session. Feedback link for each day will be posted in the chat box only and also in the YouTube live chat. The participant who attend all the sessions and submit the feedback on all days would only get e-certificate. Any issues while joining the program, please post your issue and concern in our WhatsApp groups. With these few instructions, I would be glad to brief about our college. GFGC GAURIBIDANUR was established by Department of Collegiate Education, Government of Karnataka in 2007, affiliated to Bengaluru North University with an accreditation of B+ grade by NAC in 2016. Our institution was conferred with 2F and 12B status by UGC. It is selected for infrastructure grants under RUSA Phase 2. Presently, it offers 4 different courses, UG programs like BCom, BA, BBA, and BSc Computer Science. About 1,650 students from various parts of Karnataka have enrolled for different courses. The college has a vision to achieve excellence in the field of enabling the students and empowering the students for holistic development and professional excellence. Akin to its mission, it provides student-centric teaching and learning process, leading to excellence in humanities, commerce, and science and management. To foster competitive spirit among the students, soft skills, entrepreneurship skills, theater and folk dance, workshops, and other courses are introduced. The institution has active NSS unit, NCC wing, Youth Red Cross, and Women's Cell to ensure the sensitization of students towards caring for all the sections of the society. Now, I'd like to brief about Academic Research Group, KOLAR. Academic Research Group is a team of academicians and researchers working in the field of social science. The group is seriously working on several academic and research-related issues in general, and more particularly in the higher education segment. The basic objective of the group is to provide the platform for academicians and researchers to share their knowledge and views on the issues, on the various issues, and to extend the knowledge frontiers. In this direction, the group has conducted several workshops, symposia, seminars, training programs, etc. at free of cost. So ARG is supporting social scientists, philanthropists, educationalists, and social entrepreneurs. With this, now I would like to call upon Sharanya, finally a BCom student, to invoke the inaugural session. Sharanya, unmute yourself.
शरणं वेतनु मननि गणराया शरणं वेतनु मननि गणराया करुणिसे नगे नरमृगकाया शरणं वेतनु मननि गणराया शरणं वेतनु मननि गणराया ಸುರಾಸುರ ಪೂಜೆಗೊಳ್ಳುವ ಶರಣವನು ಸುರಾಸುರ ಪೂಜೆಗೊಳ್ಳುವ ಶರಣವನು ಮೊರೆಯ ಹೊಕ್ಕೆನು ಕೇಳಿ ಕೀರ್ತಿಯರು ಮೊರೆಯ ಹೊಕ್ಕೆನು ಕೇಳಿ ಕೀರ್ತಿಯರು ಕೊಂಡಾಡುತ್ತೀಯ ಪದ ಪರಿಚಯ ಕೊಂಡಾಡುತ್ತಿ ಹೇ ಪದ ಪದ್ಯದಿ ಚರಿತೆಯ ಚೊಂಡಾಳ ಶುಭ ಮುಖ ಕೊಡುಮತಿಯ ಚೊಂಡಾಳ ಶುಭ ಮುಖ ಕೊಡುಮತಿಯ ತನು ಮನದಿ ಕಣದ ತನು ಮನದಿ ಕಣದ ಎಂದಿಗೂ ಅಪರಾಧಿಯೋ ನಾನು ಎಂದಿಗೂ ಅಪರಾಧಿಯೋ ನಾನು ಕುಂದನಾರಿಸ ಕುಂದನಾರಿಸ ಅಗಜನಂದನ ಮಣಿಪತಿ ಅಗಜನಂದನ ಮಣಿಪತಿ ಅಕುತರಕ್ಷಕ ಮುನಿ ಜನ ಪ್ರೇಮಿ ಅಕುತರಕ್ಷಕ ಮುನಿ ಜನ ಪ್ರೇಮಿ ತನು ಮನದಿ ಕಣದ ತನು ಮನದಿ ಕಣದಾಯ ಕರುಣಿಸನಗೆ ನರಮೃಗಕಾಯ ತನು ಮನದಿ ಕಣದ ತನು ಮನದಿ ಕಣದ.
Thank you, Sharanya. I request Dr. Zabiullah Sir, Assistant Professor and Head of Department of Management Studies, GFGC GAURIBIDANUR, to welcome the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Akshata ma'am. When you align your actions with essence, you become a beacon that amplifies your presence. A very good morning to all of you. I extend a hearty welcome to all of you to this 7 days online national level faculty development program on research methodology in social sciences, organized by the Department of Commerce and Management, Government First Grade College GAURIBIDANUR, in association with IQAC and Academic Research Group KOLAR. At the outset, I express my happiness in stating that for this FDP we have an eminent academician, researcher, educationist, and an administrator par excellence who is widely recognized among academic fraternity, and he is none other than Professor T.D. Kemparaju, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bengaluru North University, KOLAR. It is my prime privilege to welcome our chief guest, Professor T.D. Kemparaju, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bengaluru North University, for this inaugural function. Sir, on behalf of GFGC GAURIBIDANUR, Academic Research Group, and on behalf of all the delegates, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. I extend a gracious and inclusive welcome to our beloved principal, Professor Shivanna M., who has been a motivating force in organizing such academic programs. I extend hearty welcome to you too, sir. It's my pleasure to extend a cordial welcome to Dr. S. Muralidhar, Associate Professor and HOD of Commerce, Government College for Boys, KOLAR, and Chief Mentor, Academic Research Group, KOLAR, who has provided valuable thoughts and insights in crafting this FDP. I also express a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I also express a warm welcome to Dr. Anita H.S., Professor of Commerce and Registrar Evaluation, Davangere University, Davangere, for being part of this faculty development program. I welcome you, ma'am. I extend a sincere welcome to Dr. Irala Lokananda Reddy, Associate Professor, School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad, Telangana, Dr. Swaminathan C., Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management, GFGC Malleshwaram, Dr. Sairam, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management, Government First Grade College, Vemagal, Professor Divya S., Associate Professor of Commerce, Jain College, Bangalore, Dr. Usha Devi N., Associate Professor, MLA First Grade College for Women, Malleshwaram, Professor Balaji, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management, Government First Grade College, Vemagal, Professor Girish, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management at GFGC Frasertown, and Dr. R.S. Narendra, Assistant Professor of Commerce at GFGC Kolar. All these resource persons have been agreed to share their knowledge and expertise in different sessions of this FDP. I heartily welcome all the resource persons for this faculty development program. I extend a hearty welcome to all the participants across different parts of the country for this virtual FDP on research methodology in social sciences. I also welcome all the heads of the departments, teaching and non-teaching staff of GFGC GAURIBIDANUR, and members of academic research group for this FDP. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and welcome you too, sir, for the program.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to call upon Shri Suresh Babu, sir, Assistant Professor of Commerce, GFGC GAURIBIDANUR, to introduce our guest of honor, Professor D.D. Kemparaju, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bengaluru North University, Tamaka, Kolar. Over to you, sir.
Ma'am, good morning. Good morning, all the participants. And it is my proud privilege to introduce today's inaugural addressee, Professor T.D. Kemparaju, sir. Right now, he is the Vice Chancellor of Bangalore North University. Professor T.D. Kemparaju, sir, was born on 10/6/1957. And he has completed his graduation in the year 1975. And in the year 1980, master's degree from Mysore University. And he has completed his PhD in the year 1989 from Bangalore University. He has put in nearly about 37 years of teaching experience, and out of which 32 years is the rich experience and expertise in the field of research. So, and he was the chairman and the director, and he has held various positions at various levels, and he was the chief and the chairman of the technical sessions as well. And sir has served in the positions as professor, chairman, director, planning and monitoring, Director of Correspondence Courses, Registrar of Bangalore University, and Registrar of Mysore University as well. He was the chairman and member of various academic committees. And abroad visits the universities like Peking University, National University, and Konkan University, and all reputed global universities where he has actually been presenting and visiting as the guest of speaker. And also he has served as the president of BUTC and he was the secretary. And I feel very proud and enlightened and even very happy to introduce to you Dr. T.D. Kemparaju sir. Now it is over to Kemparaju sir to present the inaugural address. Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ellarigu namaskara. Good morning to all of you. At the outset, I appreciate and also I congratulate the principal and the faculty of Government First Grade College GAURIBIDANUR has taken this very meaningful initiative of organizing this program on research methodology in social science in collaboration with the academic research group under the steward leadership of our colleague and friend Dr. Muralidhar, and the participants of this program who are representing various colleges and other higher educational institutions, my good colleagues, the faculty members of the college, Government College GAURIBIDANUR, and others who are participants in this faculty development program. So faculty development program are in a similar way we used to call earlier as a kind of a refresher courses, workshop, seminars, symposia. These are all the parts of our academic programs. It's a part of activities for every teachers. The very objective of all these programs is to provide an opportunity and the platform for the teachers to meet other teachers of other institutions or other resource persons, interact with them, share their ideas. If any problems are there, through interaction, discussion, resolve the problems. And much more than that, upgrading our knowledge, our skill level as teachers, both for teaching as well as for research, which are the two important fundamental activities of all of us. You know that today we are all living in a different situation. The COVID-19 has made a remarkable impact on all fields of activities. Perhaps we never expected this kind of a situation. We never experienced this kind of a situation in our earlier periods. And education has also suffered a lot because of the corona or COVID impact. And this is the way how, in spite of that, we the faculty or academic fraternity, we have not stopped our academic programs. We have chosen alternative methods of teaching and learning. We have chosen the alternative methods of meeting our colleagues, meeting experts, meeting resource persons. And we have to continuously upgrading our level of knowledge. So this is because we are all living in a transition time. it is an age of transition, age of change, I popularly call it. Any change or any transition is for to carry forward our vision and mission towards in a better status. And we all of us are in the field of higher education. We have a greater responsibility to contribute to the society through our educational programs, process, and also our education products. Because education is a very fundamental issue for any progress and prosperity. No country can progress without education. You cannot witness or we cannot achieve any progress in any other sectors, whether it is science, technology, industry, economy, trade, commerce, social, etc., cultural, without proper education system. That is why it is a backbone for all developmental activities. Today, higher education in particular is a highly debating issue. People are talking too much on higher education. Even a country like India, though we have a very strong and good number of higher educational infrastructure, still somehow we are not reached a satisfactory level of responding our educational objectives as per the market needs. Quality is the order of the day. Quality is not only for products, quality not only for services, but quality is also for education. Quality is also for our academic output or research output. Because in a changing society or a changing market, where the society, market, industry, etc., is transforming in a very rapid way. This transformation is not new. Earlier also transformation or a change. Today also we are finding changes and transformation. The only difference is that in earlier days, changes and transformation is slow. But today, changes and transformation is fast and very fast in the coming days. Keeping this in view, higher education has to take note of all these kinds of changes, because our education system has to respond to the changing needs of the society. We have a greater objective of giving competent manpower, skilled manpower for social sector, for science and technology, for trade, commerce, administration, and whatnot. So that's how quality is also one of the essential components in our education system. But though India has got her independence, and we have enjoyed more than 7 decades of independence, very shortly 75 years of independence, we are all going to witness. Even though 7 decades have gone, but somewhere we have not reached a satisfactory level in our education system. Though quantitatively there is an increasing number of higher education institutions like colleges, like universities. But you look at the quality is concerned. Perhaps you might have read in the reports, in the media also. Still, India yet to find a single higher education institution or a university among the top 100 universities in the world. This is the status of affairs. Hence, the time has come to redefine our education system, because somewhere still we could not able to answer a question in the public domain. How far our education system is relevant today? How far our graduates are relevant today? How far our graduates are suitable for the market? How far our teaching is relevant in the context of change? How far our curriculum is relevant? How far our methodology is, learning, teaching methodology is relevant? On the other side, technology has given a lot of opportunities to enhance the quality teaching. So that is how technology has entered for effective teaching. We also accepted, embraced technology, and we are using technology because technology always gives a lot of dividends. So keeping that aside, higher education definitely needs a greater revamping, because in higher education, our job is not just for classroom delivery activities. There is only one part. The equally important is the research and innovation. That is equally important component. That is the two characters of higher education institutions, very specifically colleges and universities. The research output, research productivity in terms of impact factor, high impact factor articles in science and technology, in terms of number of patents generated, accepted. These are all very, very important for increase the quality of our colleges and also the universities. But statistically and quantitatively, we are finding fantastic growth of our MPhil and PhD degrees awarded by all the universities. But the quality is under question. So hence there is a need to bring some kind of quality. Thus towards research is very, very important. Keeping all these things in mind, the National Education Policy 2020, which is already accepted by the national government and the government of Karnataka under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister and also our Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and Higher Education Minister, Dr. Ashwath Narayan, has already declared. And we are all already taken the momentum of implementing it from this academic year, and the process of implementing that one in academic year is in progress. And that has proposed a number of very meaningful propositions to enhance quality in teaching and research, to bring excellence in teaching and research and learning, and also as per the changing needs of the societies, to come out of box, and where we have to expose our students not only for one discipline, for many disciplines. The days have gone. The students who have come from science background, they should be limited only to science, or social science only to social science. But today's graduate needs exposure to many things. There is a multidisciplinary character, a holistic approach, and also a lot of inclusive concepts. So outcome-based teaching and learning is one of the essential requirements. Outcome-based research is also one of the essential requirements. Realizing the importance of research in higher education, both in college and university level, UGC 2018 guidelines, where they made it PhD is a compulsory. So the very reason for putting this essential qualification PhD is to give thirst, to promote research, to create research culture, both in the colleges and universities. So that is why we have to equip our faculty with good research mindset, good research culture, and all the things. So to bring in good quality, definitely it requires a good commitment. Then choosing the proper problems. Because any research, as in the introduction, one of our faculty members said that a research has to respond to the problems of society in their own respective fields. If it is social science research, that should respond to the problems of the society. If it is a science and technology research, it has to respond to the problems of science, problems of technology, problems of industry. Similarly, like it is commerce, management, agriculture, medicine, etc. But how far our research outcome is a panacea to address the problems of the society. Many of the times, our research outcome is not known to many people. Any research, it is known to the people, known to the public. It should be public domain. Others should know. It is known to the world, not only within the region, within the state, or within the country. So these are all certain things where selection of the right problem or the relevant problems. And also equally important is ethics in research. I think we have seen a lot of malpractices in research. It's not only in universities, even in learned research institutions also we have seen. So all these things are marring the quality of education. So that's how, what is research support in science and technology, state-of-the-art laboratories, in social science, a proper research problem, the right kind of a data. A data is one of the important essential component for bring out the inference out of our research. Collecting the data, organizing the data, process the data. Based on that, to bring out inferences. Based on that, we have to recommend certain conclusions, suggestions. All these things require application of proper data collection tools, data processing techniques, data interpretation technologies, etc. And nowadays, even in social science research, where the topic of this FDP program is research in social sciences, I think resource persons will going to place before you emerging tools and techniques and technologies for organizing, managing of research data. So that this research, social science research, is always very much depends on the pragmatic data what we have collected. How in the science we collect the data based on the scientific experiments. What we collect the data from various social segments. That data is very, very important. That data should have its value. It should be a true data, valid data, and that data has to be properly what we have collected should be organized, processed, and interpreted by applying various statistical, quantitative, and other type of tools and techniques. Then only the inferences can be drawn in a more effective way. So today's workshop will focus on various issues of social science. In the society, a lot of problems are there. I think the research in social science should look at the society. What problems are haunting in the society? Pick up those problems, because how to select a problem is also one of the challenging tasks. Okay. There requires a supervisor, candidate, discuss, and then finalize, then carry forward by preparing a synopsis and other things. What all of you know, I need not tell about that for all the faculty members. So anyway, in a changing scenario, the colleges or individually we need to be identified in our field. We need to be recognized in our field. We need to be identified in the profession. So that is possible through research. Your publication in a good reputed journals. Your research outcome is published in a good research journals. It is known to the whole world. If your article is known to the whole world, your research output is known to the whole world, you will be known to the whole world. Your identity, your institutional identity, and your contribution to your own field. So that is very, very important. So that is why coming days, the higher education will going to see a lot of changes in the research front. All these days we used to talk about research after postgraduation. But you see, even in the lower level, we are finding research with our students, with our kids. Our kids are doing research in a smaller way. But in the higher education level, we talk of research only after post-graduation. I think research is a part of learning process. It should be a part of our curriculum, whether it is a graduate or postgraduate, even lower level of graduates. So that's what is called learning, outcome-based learning, and also teaching is very, very important. So we have to create, we have to develop a research culture among the students. So that is the main focus of the National Education Policy 2020. And we are going to see all these kinds of newer initiatives very shortly. And as a prelude to all these things, initiating this program of research methodology in social science, definitely aptly chosen, and also in the right time you are all organizing this program. And I congratulate once again the organizers, and also I wish this program a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful inaugural address. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Manjunath BN to introduce Chief Mentor, ARG KOLAR, Dr. S. Muralidhar sir, Associate Professor and Head of Department of Commerce and Management, Government College for Boys, KOLAR. Over to you, Manjunath sir.
Madam, shall I speak?
Sir, just a second, sir. Manjunath sir will read your profile and then.
Manjunath sir. Very good morning to all the dignitaries and my dear participants present here for 1 week national level faculty development program on research methodology in social science organized by the Department of Commerce and Management and IQAC Government First Aid College, GAURIBIDANUR in association with Academic Research Group, KOLAR. Now I would like to introduce today's keynote speaker, Dr. S. Muralidhar sir. Sir holds a doctorate in commerce from Bangalore University. Sir has MBA degrees to his credit in marketing and management, besides a host of other areas of commerce. His critical acumen and penchant for academics have taken him places as he has achieved the highest distinction possible in the area of commerce and management. Murali sir has completed 27 years of teaching both at UG and PG levels, besides professional degrees like MBA. Sir also a research guide, produced 10 PhDs and 25 MPhils, and guided many minor and major research projects. Murali sir is also recognized as a research supervisor for research programs in several universities. Sir is passionate and academic excellence by encouraging and motivating young researchers. Sir also presented many papers, chaired several sessions, and delivered keynote addresses in various national and international seminars and conferences. Sir also completed several research, minor and major research projects sponsored by UGC. Sir also holds membership of various academic research and professional bodies. Also completed an accomplished author of various books focused on commerce and management. Murali sir also discharged his responsibilities successfully as a member of expert committee on vocationalization of commerce education, Knowledge Commission of Karnataka. Sir also nominated as best teacher during the year 2009 by Garden City University, Bangalore. Sir also worked as a member of Textbooks Selection Committee, Government of Karnataka. Also a member of Subcommittee on Governance and Regulation constituted by Karnataka Government Higher Education Council for the implementation of National Education Policy 2020. Sir also a chief mentor of Academic Research Group on Academic Research Body. Presently, Dr. S. Muralidhar sir is working as professor and head of the Department of Commerce and Management, Government First Aid College, KOLAR, Karnataka. Thank you very much, sir, for providing me an opportunity to introduce an eminent professor, guide, academician, philosopher. Once again, I heartedly welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Very good morning. Very good. Namaskara. Thank you, Professor Manjunath. Most respected Professor T.D. Kempraj, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bangalore North University, and Principal of Government First Aid College, GAURIBIDANUR, and my good friend and organizing secretary of the 7 days faculty development program on research methodology in social sciences, Dr. Madhusudan Reddy sir, Dr. Zabiullah sir, all the faculty members, the college and organizing committee members, IQAC coordinator and members of academic research group, friends and all the participants across the country, and resource person of the day, Dr. Swaminathan from Government First Grade College, Malleshwaram, and all the 7 day resource persons, Professor H.S. Anita Madam, Honorable Star Evaluation, Davangere University, and all my good friends. Eldrigu kuda namaskara. And at the outset, I thank principal and all the staff members, and more particularly Professor Madhusudan Reddy and his team, Zabibul and others, for taking initiative to organize this wonderful 7 days of faculty development program, which is a national level faculty development program. And this particular theme, research methodology in social science, is the most required topic of the present day. Keeping in mind the changes that has happened around us during the last 2 years, there is a increasing significance for social science research. Of course, we cannot ignore research in any domain, whether it is pure science or social science. But as the society is passing through several complexities, several new issues and turbulent changes that are happening around us, so definitely that calls for a serious research in the domain of social science. So keeping all this in mind and making use of the valuable time, this online webinar has been initiated by Government First Grade College, GAURIBIDANUR. We, as government college teachers, and as we understand that always collaboration is the power, when we join hands with the other academicians, definitely wonderful outcome is expected. So that is what we have been doing. And as Chief Mentor of Academic Research Group, I'm very happy to share with the participants and in presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor that during the second lockdown, including this FDP, we have completed 10 such programs, collaborative programs. To name a few, our Honorable Vice Chancellor also evidenced our joint programs, because we had a great opportunity. Whenever we requested our Honorable Vice Chancellor, he has readily accepted and inaugurated all these, most of the FDPs. We conducted a joint program with the Government First Grade College, Devanahalli, and Government First Grade College, Doddaballapur. That was about the research methodology and project report preparation for the MCOM post-graduation students of Bangalore North University. So also Academic Research Group and KGF Government First Grade College jointly organized one 3 days program for the BBS students. And we have organized one teacher empowerment and capacity building program in association with KLE College, Gadag, and Soundarya College, Bangalore, and Government First Grade College for Women, Chintamani. Likewise, we have conducted 10 such programs. And Academic Research Group has been working in the field of social science, higher education, teacher empowerment, students capacity building programs, research methodology programs during the last 15 years. We have been working during the last 15 years. So I just make an appeal to all the participants and academicians. Please do participate in our all programs, and also you can share your ideas, you can share your thoughts on various platforms, so that we can contribute collectively for the society and for the academics. And coming to today's FDP, I take this opportunity to thank all the 7 resource persons: Professor Swaminathan from Government First Grade College, Malleshwaram; Professor Girish from Government First Grade College, Fraser Town; Professor Sairam, Dr. Sairam from Government First Grade College, Vemugal; Dr. R.S. Narendra from Government First Grade College, KOLAR; Professor Divya from Jain College, Bangalore; and Professor Dr. Usha Madam from MLA College, Malleshwaram; and Professor Balaji from Government First Grade College, Vemugal. And all these eminent speakers, they have readily accepted to share their knowledge in the domain of research methodology in social science. My guru used to always quote, I remember, I would like to repeat: people may come and go, but the research should continue. If you happen to have read today's newspaper, Richard Branson is the first person to make an adventure and visit the space. So through his private aircraft. Like that, a lot of research is happening across the world. Today, our Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Honorable Prime Minister and the central government has made an announcement to identify deserving people who are working at the bottom of the pyramid, who are working and contributing for the local community to recommend for the Padma Awards, for the Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan Awards. See, now things have changed, and only change is permanent. So we are all evidencing and experiencing changes, and we are all in the process of adopting changes for the betterment of the society and for bringing new systems, procedures, and new technologies, new innovations, and creative ideas for the future generation as such. So in this direction, whatever change that is happening across the world, across the country, and in the society, it is the reflection of what is taught in the classroom. So whatever that quality inputs that we give in the classroom is reflected in the society. So therefore, when the teachers are empowered with the foundations very strongly, and the teachers are capable and their capacity is built, so naturally that can bring some transformation in the students and in the society at large. So the National Education Policy 2020 is going to be implemented in the country. So in NEP, there are several opportunities for the academicians, and a lot of scope and a lot of focus has been given to the research, and National Research Foundation is going to be established, and several projects of the teachers and university professors, college teachers will be identified and encouraged. So it is a wonderful opportunity. Let us spend these 7 days and receive the inputs from all our eminent resource persons, and hope all of us will have a wonderful learning experience. Let us join hands together, and especially during the last 2 years, we have been doing several collaborative programs, and we are getting wonderful response and also outcome. See, last year, one live program in our campus conducted. That was also inaugurated by Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Temparaju Sir. Government First Grade College KOLAR and Government First Grade College Hoskote jointly organized one FDP on IFRS. So also our Vemgal Government First Grade College and KOLAR Women's College jointly organized one FDP on GST. So in the days to come, I expect all our colleges to join together, 2-3 colleges, collaborate and do some work. So also we can establish collaboration for our students to get projects in various industries. So students, they can take up projects provided they know the research process properly. So finally, the learning, whatever that happens during the next 7 years, will reach the students, and then that will be reflected in their projects, in their research projects and things like that. So I wish a very happy and fruitful, successful FDP. And I thank all the organizers. I thank the principal of the college. I thank Honorable Vice Chancellor. I thank everyone for your encouragement for this FDP. Kindly share your feedback so that we will try to improvise in our next programs. Without taking much of our time, I am also very eager to listen to Professor Swaminathan, who happens to be my very good friend for almost 2.5 decades. Because I remember Swaminathan when I met him at Central College campus in 1994. So I'm very eager to listen to Swaminathan. Thank you, all of you, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. My thanks to Madhusudan Reddy and Zabiullah, because they have taken a lot of pains to organize this program. And I thank all the resource persons who have readily accepted to share their knowledge. Thank you, one and all. Ellarigu namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Now, I request Shri Suresh Babu, MG, Rapporteur, to introduce the resource person for the technical session 1, Dr. Swaminathan C., Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management, GFGC Malleshwaram. Over to you, Suresh, sir.
Hello. Ma'am, ask me to share the screen, please.
Just a second, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, go ahead. You can share the screen.
Okay. This is Suresh. 1 minute, sir. Good morning, everyone. This is Suresh Babu. Good morning, everyone. Due to some technical difficulty, I'm very sorry. Yes, this is Suresh Babu again. A good afternoon to one and all. I'm here to present the profile of Dr. Swaminathan. Swaminathan is presently working as an assistant professor of commerce in GFGC, Malleshwaram. He has, to his credit, MCom, MPhil, MBA, MFM, ICWA Inter, and other qualifications. And he has qualified in SLET as well as NET during the year 1997. So he has worked as assistant professor in various reputed institutions like Bhagwan Mahavir College and Sai Women's College in Bangalore as well. And he has authored several textbooks like income tax and GST and financial markets and services, etc. Right now, he is assistant professor and he is the lieutenant of the NCC in his college as well. Very good person, kind-hearted person, is working very hard and he is very sincere, and he has completed his PhD from Tumkur University as well. I feel very proud to introduce to the whole teaching fraternity at this point in time. On behalf of our college, I sincerely express thank you to Dr. Swaminathan C. Sir. Now over to Swaminathan. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, all. Can you all hear me? And if the screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Suresh Babu,
Yes, sir.
Oh, fine,
Yes, sir.
fine. Okay, fine. Okay. Good morning to one and all present today. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Kemparaju sir, and Dr. Muralidhar sir, and Madhusudan sir, and Dr. Jamiullah, and all the other members who are coordinating this particular activity. It's really great to hear from all of you that the ARC of KOLAR is 15 years old and has conducted many programs in collaboration with the various colleges across the Bangalore North University. Dr. Muralidhar sir, my guru, friend, well-wisher, and I know him, as sir said, I know him for the past 2.5 decades, has guided me and molded me, and I'm here today because of many people, and one among that is Dr. Muralidhar sir as well. And today, when we were listening to the address of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Kemparaju sir has given a strong foundation for research, that without research, probably the mankind may not exist. Such kind of a strong message sir has given to all of us. Of course, it is true that research is something unique and which is a part of the mankind that need to continue as long as the mankind exists. Even in the keynote address given by our own Dr. Muralidhar sir also stressed upon the need for research in various walks of life. And thank you, Suresh Babu sir, for introducing me with my little credentials, what I have in front of this August gathering and in front of our Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Dr. Muralidhar sir. I'm a very small person, but still, okay, whatever I hold, all these credentials just to have announced and introduced to the August gathering. Okay, thank you one and all for giving this particular opportunity. And today my task is an overview of the research process. And we have 6 more research scholars or resource persons. They are going to give presentation on the various items or various topics of research in the days to come for another 6 more days. But today I'm going to just give an introduction to all such particular process which we are going to discuss in the days to come. So research is a big ocean. Therefore, picking out from that particular ocean and concising a precise topic and delivering a lecture would be something difficult given the time limit of around 1 or 1 hour 15 minutes. Therefore, today in this particular session, just I made my objectives as to understand research and its significance. So all of us and many of us know what is research. Probably my little attempt what I'm going to make it today to reinstate what is research, and probably let us just do a small kind of revision to understand better how research is going to be a part of the mankind in the days to come, and to understand the research the process. And the topic of mine is the overview of the research process. It comprises of almost all the aspects that is a part of the research. Therefore, here I made an attempt, or I'm making an attempt to bring to you all what is research and what is the significance of research and what are the types of research. Because some of the, when you look into the other 6 more presentations, we couldn't find that somebody is covering the types of research. Probably let me just touch upon that particular area of types of research. Because when you take up the topic, obviously it is very important that you should know very clearly that what kind of research that you're going to look for. Though there is no a clear demarcation between a specific research, sometimes the types of research might be overlapping, but still we will make a simple attempt with some examples to understand what are the different types of research that you can think of. As it is in, as we are coming out with the NEP, National Education Policy, and probably day for yesterday on Saturday, the Honorable DCM have visited our college for distributing the free tab to the government college students. Even in his address on last Saturday, the DCM has stressed it very clearly that from this year, admission of this 21-22 will be based on NEP. That NEP is a 4-year course, therefore all the admissions has to happen based on NEP. And he also stressed when he has visited our college on Saturday. And even our Honorable Vice Chancellor also has made it very clear that we are going to have NEP. Okay, with this NEP, and one more thing, that as per the UGC guidelines from this July 2021 onwards, even for the post of assistant professors, even for the recruitment, the PhD is mandatory. Therefore, keeping in mind all these things, this research is required not only for the for the mankind in all walks of life. It is also specifically required for an academician to get into job and survive and stay and grow in academics. Therefore, with this brief background, that just I'm going to touch upon some of the important areas of research, and finally come to the research process. Let us spend a little time to understand all this research process as an overview of the entire process to understand the significance of all these things. Okay, if you just pick up one definition, like according to Redman and Mori, research is systematized effort to gain new knowledge. According to Fred Kerlinger, research is an organized inquiry designed and carried out to provide information for solving a problem. Okay, from these 2 definitions, just you can understand that research is always to gain a new knowledge. Again, even if you split the word research, it is re and plus search. Again and again, searching for something new is called as research, as all of you know. Searching again and again, okay, something new, that's how. Okay, one thing, what we are today is purely because of the research. You take any product for that matter, whatever that we use, and all these products are an outcome of the research. Therefore, we continuously do research and innovate something, and okay, that will fulfill our needs and wants. And if it just take another definition, like research is an organized inquiry. It is an organized and systematic inquiry, which is designed to carry out, to provide information for solving a problem. Research is basically like finding or solving, finding a solution to a problem or finding an answer to a question. Research is the systematic process of collecting and analyzing information in order to increase the understanding of the phenomenon about which the mankind relates to. To put it in a nutshell, that I can say that research is a continuous process that every one of us need to be a part of it. Sometimes, like we are looking for, as an academician, we are looking for a social science research to get or obtain a degree of PhD, which is required for our academic requirement. But that is not so. Research is there everywhere. Even an illiterate also is into research. You see, first time you will try like this, selling a product. If it doesn't work out, as you will try something else. Therefore, research is there in everybody. It is a part of, it is there. It is existing in everybody. It's a part of our body. It's a part of, like, it's already is there in the blood of everyone. But you know, one thing, like how you project it, okay, even if I ask a street vendor also will be doing a lot of research. One day he will go to this street at a particular point of time. If he could not able to, sell all his products, probably will try the next street tomorrow. That is nothing but research. Research is there everywhere. But you know, like academically, just we are research is considered to be an organized inquiry designed and carried out to provide information for solving a problem. Research is a systematic process, of course. That's what like we are making an attempt in this entire FDP. We are making an attempt. Like as it's a systematic process, it cannot be done in an FSR manner. A street vendor can try, based on trial and error method, but you and me will not be able to do that. Yes, it has to be done in a systematic manner of collecting and analyzing the information in order to increase the understanding of the phenomenon with which the mankind relates to. Coming to significance of researchers, I'm not going to read out all these 9 points. I'm going to just tell you that how research is important. Because at any point of time, if you want to do research, yes, probably like we should have a kind of whenever just we do research, probably that inspiration should be there. Probably when we do a social science research, always, of course, including me, always we had a first priority is to get doctorate degree, which is required for our promotions and increment and all those things. But besides that, when we do research, anybody for that matter, we should have some other important objectives or interests or intentions in mind as well. Research, of course, extends knowledge. Research unravels the miseries of the nature. Research establishes generalization and general law. For example, law of gravity. And like the law of demand, law of supply, law of gravity, and all these things is nothing but the outcome of research. So even, for example, those who are dealing with financial management know that, we have different theories of capital structure theories, dividend theories. We have all these theories. And consumer behavior, we have a number of consumer behavior model that has been developed. See, all these things are the outcome of a particular research that is conducted by the eminent experts in the field of research. Research verifies and tests. It verifies and tests the information that is collected. It creates interrelationship. Like cause and effect relationship is done none other than by the research. You take anything for that matter, there is a cause and effect relationship has to be studied. Our research helps to find a solution to a problem and an answer to a question. This is the ultimate of any research for that matter. We need to find a solution to a given problem, or we need to find an answer to a question. And it develops the various tools and techniques and concepts. Like as I've said, net operating income approach, net income approach, and all these approaches is nothing but certain concepts that has been developed in the field of financial management by the experts in capital structure. And helps in decision making, of course. Needless to say that research, the outcome will certainly help you in contributing to the decision making, be it in anything. For example, in all corporate world, the outcome of the research is very much helpful for taking a number of decisions. It could be product innovation, it could be product penetration, it could be product diversification, it could be any kind of thing. See, obviously, research is the background. It is at the back end. It is always functioning. Whether we know it or not, it is happening. Nobody will penetrate into a market. Nobody will launch a new product unless until they do a kind of research. When I was doing MPhil with the KMF in 1997, Yes, they were conducting a research. It was outsourced to a research agency for launching ice creams of Nandini product. So Nandini wants to launch ice cream product. They want to add this particular product to the product line. And at that time, when I was doing MPhil with KMF, okay, they were conducting this particular research. It was outsourced to one of the marketing research organization. They were conducting the research. Therefore, whenever we want to do anything, a kind of small research will always happen. Therefore, research is a part and parcel of our life. So research is directed towards a problem, towards the solution of a problem. Research is based upon observable experiences or empirical evidences. Research demands accurate observations and description. Research involves gathering new data from primary sources or using existing data for the new purpose that is nothing but your secondary data. Research activities are characterized by carefully designed procedures. Research requires expertise, that is skill necessary to carry out investigation. So like this, we have a number of characteristics of research. Okay, whenever you understand research, probably you should know what are its characteristics. So the main purpose of understanding research is it's not for theory. See, what is that we are discussing today for another 6 days to come? It is not for writing an examination of the MBA or MCOM or something like that. The main purpose of this particular 7-day FDP to understand research and to practice and implement. Okay, those are already, I think some of you among the participants, some of you might have already been registered for PhD or some, okay, like the rest others need to register for PhD and you or MPhil and you need to do research. Therefore, this particular FDP is mainly focusing on to get the latest practical aspects. How you should learn how to apply this research knowledge in your own areas. If we just we will try to understand how to select the problem or how to identify the problem and all these things we'll discuss. Okay, I give just a brief idea about what is the research, meaning of research, definition of research, and characteristics of research, and what research is the significance. Okay, how it is significant to the mankind. Research involves the quest for answers to unsolved problems. Okay, we have a lot of unsolved problems that need to be solved. But systematically we find an answer to those problems by using all the various tools and techniques and methods that we will use, okay, to find out a problem to a given solution. Well, this is very important because whenever you take up any research, everybody does the research. But if you want to clearly, suppose if you want to claim that your research is good, and you want to really present some papers on that, and if you want to further proceed or enhance the knowledge in the particular area, every researcher should keep these things in mind. The purpose of the research should be clearly defined. Research process should be detailed through the research design. Research design has to be thoroughly planned, and high ethical standards has to be applied. Okay, right now in the address of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, he has reiterated that ethical issues in research. I think even in one of the day, our Dr. Narendra sir is going to give a presentation on reports and ethical issues in research. And limitations frankly revealed. Okay, suppose what are the limitations that is there that need to be frankly revealed? No hesitations in that, because nobody on the earth can do a complete 100% perfect research, because every research has its own limitations that need to be frankly revealed so that we will be safe. And adequate analysis for decision makers' needs. Okay, there should be adequate analysis. The analysis has to be adequate enough so that, see, if you want to take some decisions, the analysis has to be adequate. Okay, we cannot take decisions with an improper or inadequate analysis. Suppose if you're using certain statistical tools and techniques, on all such tools and techniques has to be adequately used. And findings presented unambiguously. Okay, no doubt all the findings may not be that relevant, like in 100% we cannot say that. That's the reason why we use sample error and all those things for generalization of the outcome. But still, the ambiguity should not be there. And conclusion should be justified. And whatever you say, I'm sure that all the senior professors who have evaluated the research thesis would know when they evaluate the research thesis, they'll come to know how how much of effort the researchers have put into it. If all the research, will reflect the experience of the researchers' experience will be reflected. Okay, it should be reflected in such a manner that, like, researcher has put sufficient efforts and energy and time and knowledge, so that this particular research, the outcome of this research, can be well taken and accepted. These are all some of the important key aspects that you have to keep it in mind as far as the research, and if you want to claim that your research is good enough. Fine. Okay, as I've said that, when I looked into the research that is the another 6 more FDPs, okay, presented by the other eminent resource persons, like I couldn't see, okay, somebody is touching on this types of research. I'll be taking this types of research for 5 to 6 minutes, and after that we'll move to our main content of the research process. See, descriptive and analytical research. Therefore, whenever you choose a topic, you have to be very clear, because even most of the research proposals, we the research scholars, okay, like have a confusion that which type of research that we are doing. Even if you refer any of the books on this research methodology, you can just clearly understand the differentiation between some of these types of research. Descriptive research is a fact-finding investigation which is aimed at describing the characteristics of individual, situation, or a group, or describing the state of affairs as it exists at present. It's like a fact-finding investigation. Okay, because if something is happening, okay, what's happening, that if you want to find the fact, okay, fact-finding investigation which is aimed at describing characteristics of an individual. Okay, something is already happening, but I want to understand what is its characteristics, why it is having, well, why it is doing so. Like, I'm interested in like finding why it is happening. Suppose law of demand, okay. When the price decreases, demand increases, and vice versa. Why it is happening so? If you want to conduct that kind of study, okay, that's called a descriptive study. Analytical research is primarily concerned with testing hypotheses and specifying and interpreting the relationships by analyzing the facts or information already available. Analytical research is primarily concerned with testing of hypotheses. See, in research, hypothesis plays a very important role. I'm sure that there is one particular session on formulation of hypothesis by Professor Divya ma'am, and she's going to explain you on how to formulate hypothesis. But I will just touch upon some of the basic aspects of hypothesis today. Analytical research is primarily concerned with testing of hypothesis. Okay, we want to analyze. Most of the time we say, okay, for example, okay, the sales is increasing, or if the profit is increasing or decreasing. Okay, we want to test the hypothesis and understand, okay, what is the relationship between the sales and profit and all these things. Applied and fundamental research. Applied research or action research is carried out to find out solution to a real life problem requiring an action or a policy decision. Most of the time, this applied research is available with the live projects. What do we call it as? It's a live project. Okay, and most of the companies who are seriously like facing some issues, they will give a live topic, real life problem. Among the social science research, this kind of topic is used. Okay, suppose if we choose a topic of something which is at present it's existing, this problem is existing, and I want to find a solution to it. That's an applied research. The fundamental research, also known as a pure research, is undertaken for the sake of knowledge without any intention to apply it in practice. Okay? Probably that I want to know or something, I want to explore something new, which I may not put directly into practice, just the curiosity of learning. It is undertaken out of intellectual curiosity and not necessarily problem oriented. Because I want to learn something, okay, why it's happening. It's an intellectual curiosity. And whether the application of this or not, that is not we will not just immediately look into it. But initially, just we'll be having curiosity to know. Okay, what about this? Okay, why it's happening so? That's fundamental research. And quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative research is employed for measuring the quantity or amount of a particular phenomena using statistical analysis. Suppose, for example, if you conduct a study relating to a particular stock exchange, stock price movements, and if you want to compare the Sensex with NSE, or if you want to compare Sensex with a particular mutual fund, or if you want to like that, if you take some quantitative measures, and if you want to compare that, and if you want to study by using the statistical measures, that we call it as a quantitative research. And qualitative research is a non-quantitative type of analysis which is aimed at finding out the quality of a particular phenomenon. For example, my research area is consumer behavior, and I have just conducted a study on lifestyle of the youth. See, lifestyle of the youth falls under the qualitative research. Mine is a qualitative research. One question will arise, even this has to come to me that, okay, this qualitative factors cannot be put into statistics, but this particular qualitative, my data itself is qualitative, but that is converted to quantitative. Obviously, for analysis, we have to put the quantitative only. Suppose if you are using SPSS package or R programming or something like that, or if you're using any statistical tool, obviously the qualitative aspects has to be converted into, we want to measure that, isn't it? We want to just convert that into quantitative. But in the first example, the raw data itself is quantitative. Like, price movements of Infosys over a part of 6 months, okay, or comparing it with something else, okay, or taking any numerical basis. The data itself is numerical, and that will be used in the quantitative research. Qualitative is like, it's a subjective study, but the issues of the subjectivity will be converted into, okay, quantitative measure, and that will be put on some of the statistical tools for testing. Conceptual versus empirical research. Conceptual research is generally used by the philosophers and thinkers to develop new concepts or to reinterpret existing ones. As I've already given an example of, okay, like for example, hypothesis, okay. We have Modigliani Miller, okay, he has conducted a study on dividend. According to this hypothesis, it's a theory of irrelevance. He says that the dividend paid in a company is irrelevant to the market value of the shares. And there is other two experts in the field of dividend theories, Walter and Gordon. They have conducted a study on theory and dividend, and they say that there is a relevance, okay. If giving dividend by a company, there is a relevance, okay. And this particular Gordon and Walter, they have conducted the study on theory on dividend. They say that there is a relevance, and okay, Modigliani Miller, and he conducted the same a kind of research to say that it is a relevance. Therefore, if you want to have a conceptual understanding about a particular concept, okay, that kind of conceptual studies can be conducted. You see, one thing, as I've said initially, like there could be slight overlapping of aspects will be there. Subjectivity and conceptual, yes, looks more or less little similar, and empirical and quantitative also looks more or less similar. But of course, like when you particular take a topic, you have to just choose that. And if you are preparing a research proposal, you have to be very clear that which kind of research that you are choosing, and which type of research that you are into. Empirical research is a data-based research which depends on experience or observation alone. It is aimed at producing conclusions without due regard for system and theory. It's like purely quantitative. This is data-based. Okay, you're going to collect the primary data, and you're going to use the secondary data, and you're going to come out with analysis and interpretations. And it is aimed at producing conclusions, okay, without due regard to for the system and theory. But sometimes, even for example, what is that I did is, okay, collecting all the data from the youth of the 15 to 29 years, and all the subject information is converted to numerical, measured and put into proper suitable statistical tool, and we got the outcome. But sometimes this particular is nothing to do with the theory, but if at all, if you want to compare, we can develop a model, and that can be compared with some other model. Okay, just quickly complete this topic. Some other types of research is one-time research, that the research confined to a single time period. Longitudinal research carried out over a several time period. Okay, sometime even conducting the lifestyle. Okay, I had a thought. Even for example, I consulted Dr. Muralidhar sir and all. With longitudinal research also I could have done, but the thing is I need to wait for a long time. Suppose, for example, if I want to take the sample. I want to take the sample today, a person who is at the age of 20, and when he turns 40, what would be his lifestyle? I want to compare, okay. It's a several periods, okay, like several period, a time period, okay. But for academic purpose, mostly we cannot use this, okay, because with that long time gap, we cannot do it. There is some time within 7 years of the maximum period of time, if you want to break it into pieces, okay, you can do longitudinal study also. Suppose, for example, first 2 years you are conducting a research. The same respondent, you are going to meet him after 4 or 5 years of change. Probably you want to conduct, okay, the pre-COVID and post-COVID, okay. Pre-COVID, yes, you can conduct a research. Today you can collect the data. And after 3-4 years, we can just go to the same respondent, conduct the study or conduct the, give them a question and collect the data, and you can compare it. If the same person is being consulted as taken as a sample unit after 3-4 years, that could be like an example of a longitudinal research. Diagnostic research, of course, it's used in the pure medical and it is used in the pharmaceutical sector. In fact, it is also called as clinical research, which aims at identifying the causes of a problem. And this diagnostic research is very much used in pharmaceutical sector. And for example, the COVID vaccine itself is the best example that how this particular COVID vaccine has been released to the public. And one of my brother-in-law is into pharmacy, and he generally says, of course, it's a very common fact, and everybody knows it. If a company, pharma company need to come out with a particular medicine, it takes minimum 15 to 20 years after lot of exercises, lot of experiments and trials. Therefore, that is an example of a diagnostic research. And exploratory research, it is the preliminary study of an unfamiliar problem about which the researcher has little or no knowledge. It is aimed to gain familiarity with the problem, to generate new ideas, or to make a precise formulation of the problem. Hence, it is also known as a formulative research. Of course, formulative research is like we will be conducting research where we don't have any idea about anything. For example, solar system, we don't have any information about that. We don't know anything about it. If you want to conduct for the first time, when you don't have any base, it is like a zero-based budgeting. Wherein we don't have any knowledge, we are blind, but still we want to explore something new. This is also one of the objectives of research, one of the significance of research, wherein we can explore something which is not, not existing at the present situation. Now these are all some of the experimental research and historical research. It is designed to assess the effect of one variable on a phenomenon by keeping the other variable constant or controlled. Obviously, we already discussed the experimental research. And historical research, it is a study of past records and other information sources with a view to find the origin and development of a phenomenon and discover the trends in the past in order to understand the present and to anticipate the future. Sometime, even if you take the stock exchange movement of the Sensex, that could be like, though it is empirical, quantitative, it is also goes along with the historical research. So most of the time, we come across in mutual funds and all these type of promotions, like, the past performance may not be taken, in future. But whatever they could say is the past performance, how the particular mutual fund has performed. But historical research is, of course, it is basically done to, draw some. We can learn from our own mistakes, as we say. But historical research will help us to understand, our own mistakes, and probably that can be rectified in future. And it can be based on the particular past information we can project for the future. These are all some of the important research that is quite commonly used. Fine. My main intention to tell all these research processes as the number one is, I think probably the other 6 resource person may not be covering on this number one. And number two, as my topic is an overview of the research, probably I can take the liberty of telling you all these things, whatever I said so far. Before opening up the topic, that is overview of the research process, I really felt that, let me spend a little 20 minutes to just to give an input about the research, all these things like types of research and all. Therefore, whatever I said this 20 minutes, I request all the participants, I think some of you are the fresh researchers, research scholars, and they're about to do research. Whatever I said this 20 minutes, probably it has a relevance for all of you, that, whenever you choose a topic, you have to be very clear that what kind of research that you want to do. Therefore, here, I'm going to just take another 20, another half an hour to just tell you about this particular steps, that is overview of the research process. So selecting a topic, how you should select the topic, and what are the things that have to keep it in mind, and defining the research problem, that's very, very important, and objectives of research, that you want to just set an objectives of the research. And review of literature plays a very important role. I'll just make little attempt to make you understand that what is review of literature and how it has to be, what kind of review that you have to do and how many reviews is minimum required and all. And formulation of hypothesis, just a bit I'll just talk about. And finally, I'll conclude the session with giving you the brief content of the research design, that is preparing the research design. And after that, the data analysis, interpretation, and report writing. Of course, all these things will be dealt in detail in the coming FDPs. Okay, no doubt, research is a continuous process, and this has a lot of impact. The outcome of any research is purely based on how much of quality and quantity time that every researcher puts into it. And thank God ours is a social science research. Suppose if it's a pure science research, if it's a pure science, even I have happened to hear some of the areas like computer science and pure science like physics. Okay, ours is commerce and management comes under the social science. Suppose if we take a pure science like physics, chemistry, biology, and computer science also, the researchers are really finding it difficult to get a topic because they need to prove. Okay, of late I've come across one of the research proposal of a computer science research scholar. He was finding it difficult to choose a topic because, and I was comparing him like how I've chosen the topic. For me, I had as a commerce and management guy, I had a lot of topics to choose from. And I've taken a topic of consumer behavior, and I've taken lifestyle, and I've compared the lifestyle with the youth and so many things. I was able to do it. Even you don't believe that, okay, when I was listing out the topic for my interested area of topic, I have written so many topics. With so many topics, I went and met the guide, and just the guide suggested some of the topics, and we discussed over the topic. And guide, had initial discussion with me, and the guide, by asking certain questions, he understood, okay, how much I am serious about the topic, and how much I know the topic, how much I'm involved in the topic, and how much of interest I have, inclination, how much inclination I have towards the topic. But as commerce and management graduates, yes, really we are fortunate that we have a lot of topics available for social science, but it's really not that easy for pure science like physics, biology, chemistry, computer science, etc. Okay, because sometimes they want to prove the model. Suppose for example, machine learning, they say artificial intelligence, they say in computer science. Artificial intelligence or machine learning or IoT, they call it Internet of Things. Okay. Internet of Things is like a remote, okay, like remote sensor and all those things. Say at the end of the day, they need to prove with a demo. See, that is the pure, of course, that's a pure science. That's the reason we call it a pure research, pure science research. Okay? And even, for example, all engineering students, they're doing research, they are innovating. An automobile engineer is designing an automobile engine, and is designing an automobile spare parts. And all these things, mechanical engineering, okay? And most of the engineering branches also, they also do this because ultimately they need to prove, with a demo, with a live demo, they want to prove. But of course, we are fortunate in one way that, as a social science research, it's not that we should not prove, but we'll be proving everything, okay, subjectively, not like, not like an automobile engineer, not like a computer science, person who is doing PhD with the Internet of Things or something like that. Therefore, here, these are all some of the process that I have taken. Okay, now let us spend little time on each of these things, and I will not be focusing too much on the areas which we are going to have the FDP in the coming days. Selecting a topic. Now, how you have to select the topic? According to me, whatever the topic that we select should have a relevance, and whether the problem is already researched before, and scope. Okay, the required data must be available. Contribution to the knowledge in specific field, and required cooperation from the research guide. Okay, like probably I can just share my experience itself. Okay, what made me to take marketing? Okay, that is, see, one thing I'll tell you frankly, the topic that has come to me is like when we went to I was telling about 7-8 years back, when we're going to buy a mobile in the mobile shop, just I was looking at different brands and different varieties of mobile, but my daughter, at that time, she was around 10 or 12 years old. She started telling me, Papa, we'll buy this and all those things. At that time, I realized that the youngsters of the day, so even, for example, I tried the another one also. Like as when I was a child, I used to use all the products or whatever it may be, it is being bought by our parents. We used to use it, be it a pant or be it a shirt or trouser or any footwear, anything for that matter. We don't have any specific choice. But the present younger generation, they have a specific choice for their own consumables, number one. Number two, they are even interfering in the products bought by the family. Yes, this is where I got a thought that, like the youngsters of the present They are something different, okay, to me when I wasn't, okay, youngster at that time. Because now it's an information era. People have a lot of information. They're exposed to the general world very fast at a very young age. Therefore, I got a thought like, okay, of course, let us, instead of studying consumer behavior in general, why not we focus this consumer behavior on a youth? Therefore, after deliberate discussions, after identifying the various, after just taking several topics, okay, I had just boiled down to a topic that a study of lifestyle of youth and its impact on individual and family buying behavior. Therefore, here somewhere this kind of, okay, like, inclusive team, that's what we call it as research. Research, like that, that makes us to identify an area that should be, it should be relevant. And whether the problem is already researched before. Yes, of course, I need to go into the review of literature for this purpose. And sources of data must be available, okay. Probably like, I had another experience, when somebody was registered for non-banking financial companies around 10 years back. Non-banking financial companies, it was very difficult to collect data being a finance sector. And that during 1998, there was a, okay, like, the non-banking financial companies were, most of the non-banking financial companies have lost and, they were going to bankruptcy. And some non-banking financial companies, which were very successful, they were not ready to give the data. And the company which is already sinking, okay, they are also not ready to give the data, and collecting the data from them was very, very difficult. Therefore, when you choose a topic, yes, of course, you have to see whether the data will be, required data must be available. For example, when I've chosen this, a study of lifestyle of youth, yes, I'm very comfortable that 15 to 29, I can get the data. I visited the colleges in rural area. I visited the colleges in urban areas. I went and spoke to the principal, took permission, and went and addressed the students and circulated my physical questionnaire to them. I got the data filled, and it was more realistic and reliable also. See, whenever you choose a topic, please keep it in mind the data should be available. And contribution, you should not go by the convenience. Okay, it's not that I'm not telling that I went by the convenience. Yes, it's very easy for me. I can walk into the college and collect the data. No, I didn't went by convenience, because for my research, the more like strength is the data from the youth. Is it available? Yes, it's available. Okay, we can choose it, no problem. Contribution to the knowledge in specific field. See, whatever that we take, that should be contribution to the specific knowledge. Okay, so that should contribute to the knowledge. At least in my research, I could come out with some of the relationship between the youth and the consumer behavior. And I've given a lot of, okay, like, recommendations to the marketers. Required cooperation from the guide. Of course, the research guide is also very important, that he or she has to be convinced with your topic. I've seen that even if the research guide is from a different domain, okay, maybe marketing, HR, but still if you want to do in finance, and if you're convinced that yes, you can do it, probably you can even convince a guide also, which are, okay, exposure in the field. Therefore, you have to be very careful in choosing the topic. And practical utility of the topic should be selected, okay. It should be useful, at least to some extent. It should not be totally irrelevant. The selection of a topic and research problem. The term problem means a question or issue to be examined. Research problem refers to some difficulty or need which a researcher experiences in the context of either theoretical or practical situation and wants to obtain a solution for the same. Of course, problem, everybody, the term problem means a question or an issue to be examined. As we need to examine an issue. That's the reason why I'm going to just tell you that how to define the problem. See, in my case, defining a problem is, yes, the present day youngsters are influencing too much in the buying behavior or in the consumer market, in the products. Then what is the role of a parent and what is the role of a youth in buying a consumer durable product? If like that, we should be in a position to define a specific problem. Okay, therefore, problem means a question or issue to be examined, but that need to be defined. A research problem refers to some difficulty or need which a researcher experiences in the context of either theoretical or practical situation. And always, like, I have a problem, I want to find a solution to it. Yes, in my company or in our company, the sales is completely decreasing or gradually decreasing over a period of time. If there's a problem, I want to examine this. I want to find what the problem for this. There's just, like we want to select such problem and we want to convert that to a research problem. And sources of research problem, where we will get the problem. As I've already explained, okay, just shared my personal experience with you. My own daughter, when we went for shopping a mobile, yes, I got, that is the source. That is where I got it. Now, after that, I applied this. It's not only in my family. When I casually asked all my friends around, they also started doing the same thing. Okay, earlier when we were child, whatever our parents used to get for us, we used to wear and we used to use, we used to eat. But nowadays, the children have become too choosy. They are selective. They are very particular. Okay, they don't even accept the product, whatever we give them. For them also, they will come and select, and only what they like, yes, they buy. At the same time, they're even influencing us also. Yes, this is where that I got that particular root of my particular topic. Customer compliance, conversation with the company employees. Sometimes if a particular customer is complaining, a lot of complaints are there. Yes, probably you can take a real life problem, okay, real life topic. Conversation with company employees, that is nothing but employee satisfaction in HR. Observation of inappropriate behavior of conditions of a firm. Suppose if I come across the behavior of a firm is inappropriate, what could be the reason for that? Deviation from the business plan. As all of us, we have a business plan, and if it gets too much deviated, okay, and what is the reason for that deviation? Success of the firm's competitor, okay. So sometime, like the topic will come. See, if I'm all right, but my competitors keep growing. My competitor's market share is around 15%. My market share is only 8%. I'm not able to increase it further, but he's keeping, okay, his market share is keep increasing. What could be the reason? Yes, let me conduct the study. And relevant reading of published material, okay, like, trends and regulations, etc. And company records and reports. Looking at all these things, yes, this is where you get that source or the information for the research. And all of us will come across, okay. Therefore, if you choose a topic of your own with your own inquisitiveness to learn, probably that will become a successful project for you, rather than it's been imposed on somebody else. Generally, it is said that the topic you have to choose with due respect to all the guide, that sometimes we will not, we should not even get carried away by the guide's convenience also. See, if you are good and if you're confident, that's the reason why I already made a remark to all of you, that even if your guide is supposed to be an expert in marketing and HR, if you are convinced about a finance topic, and if you can convince him, sir, though you are dealing with marketing and HR all these years and for so many decades, I'm very much confident in doing in this finance area. Let me do. Probably yes. The thing is, like, your interest is very much important, because guide is there, but of course, but your interest is also equally important in selecting a topic. The first step in the research process is definition of a problem involves two activities. One is identification, that is selection of the problem, and formulation of the problem. So we need to select the problem, identify the problem. And the problem can emanate from various fields and various walks of life. It could be our own personal experience or whatever I've stated here, all these things. Okay. And identification and selection of the problem and formulation of the problem. I'll just tell you how to formulate the problem. This step involves identification of a few problems and selection of one out of them after evaluating the alternatives against a certain selection criteria. See, we come across a lot of problems. Okay, we cannot do project and research for all the problems. It's not possible for us to do research for all the problems. This step involves identification of a few problems and selection of one out of them after evaluating alternatives against certain selection criteria. So suppose if you come across a problem in a company, if you come across a problem in the relating to labor or customer, yes, suppose if you take an example, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you just walk into a company, yes, there is a lot of complaints. Complaints from customers, complaints from employees, complaints from other stakeholders, but we cannot choose all those things. Okay, no one can do project in all the areas. Probably we have to choose one among those that best suits to us. Okay, in the selection criteria, as we mentioned here, the selection criteria, let me just tell you what is the selection criteria. The selection of one appropriate researchable problem out of the identified problems requires evaluation of those alternatives against certain criteria. As I've already said that if you walk into a company, there may be a problem of marketing, there may be a problem of HR, there may be a problem of research and development, there may be a problem of production, there may be any other problem. But for every problem, yes, we cannot, okay, let's see, as a one researcher, yes, we cannot address to all the problems. See, when the profit is decreasing, yes, there could be a number of problems. Labor issues may be there, raw material issue may be there, quality of the product may be there, okay, marketability of the product may be there, competitors may be there. But like we cannot identify, we cannot take up all those things. Probably we can just focus on marketing and we can just focus on some particular area. And what is that criteria? Internal or personal criteria. Researcher's interest. As I already said that you should be convinced with the topic. Because from the day one, if I'm convinced, till the end, yes, I'm convinced means convinced. Okay, nobody can change me. See, there are people who have changed the guide because they are not able to get the guide, okay, suitable to the topic. The researcher's interest, researcher's competence, researcher's own resource, that is finance and time. So sometimes, most of the time we are doing self-financing and our time limits, time constraints are there. And if it is a sponsored project, yes, we can choose a topic and it will be financed with someone else. Suppose if you are doing a UGC major project, when you're doing a UGC major project and funding will be done by the UGC, if it is your colleges with the 12B and 2F, and you'll be getting the funds, and that funds can be used probably that without any constraints, you people can take up a huge project that involves even some more time also. But if it is our own self-financing, like most of the time, we all fall under the category of self-financing PhD, social science, in the area of social science, and we are all aiming to get into doctorate degree and acquire the doctorate degree. And most of the time we come under the self-financing category. Therefore, we need to look into what is my research area. Somebody the other day, I was reading one research proposal of one of my friend. He has given India. The topic was concluding in India. And he asked my feedback. Okay, I asked, okay, how come you have taken an Indian? So suppose the particular study has been conducted in India. Because even in my research, I've taken only Bangalore urban, and that was selected Bangalore urban area only because of my research constraints and time constraints and moving around, data collection, all those things. But my friend said, okay, I have taken India because I'm going to prepare a Google form. This particular questionnaire is going to be sent across India. And I have contacts in other states, other teachers and professors in other states. And I have one of my friend who is associated with academic fraternities all over India. And we'll be putting this questionnaire and requesting them to fill the questionnaire so that I'll get responses all over India. Probably today also, we are happy to say that we are conducting a national level FDP because thanks to this COVID-like situation, we are able to meet in a virtual platform. We can have a national level. We are having national level webinar today. Therefore, here the time and finance is also very important whenever you choose a topic. Because let me tell you one thing. My own experience, number one, number two, the experiences of many of my research friends. Most of them have failed in selecting the suitable topic. Somebody wants to do a topic and he's not able to convince the guide, and guide said, no, you have to do in some other topic. And I don't want to name the person, I know very well, but the topic suggested by the guide, my friend is not able to prepare a synopsis and submit to the university, and he was keep dragging. His registration time also got elapsed. It happens most of the time. The selection of the topic is very, very important. You have to sit quietly, calmly, and think, and which is the area of your interest. Please, get convinced and do it. Because once you choose a topic of your choice, it is like career planning. Suppose, for example, okay, if your career choice is to become lecturer, because most of the people, whether you have chosen this career by accident or by choice, if you ask, we always say by choice. If it is by accident, somebody has forced you. And if it is by choice, it has come out on your own. Therefore, just choosing the topic is very, very important. External criteria or factors is researchability of the problem, importance and urgency, novelty of the problem. Novelty means something new. Feasibility, facilities, usefulness, and social relevance, and research personnel. Okay, the people who are associated with the research. All these things also should be taken into consideration. Okay, somebody used to do a research. For that particular data, you need to visit Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay, Mumbai, you have to frequently visit from Bangalore. Please don't take such topic if you're not able to move around often. It's better not to do that kind of project. When you happen to visit frequently Mumbai Stock Exchange, and if it is not possible for you to go frequently, it's better not to choose, and let's be away from that. Therefore, you have to choose a topic. Okay, that is, I don't say convenience, and I'm suggesting you something to become smart and do research in a very leisurely and lethargic manner. No, it's not that. I'm telling you that most of the time, if you go wrong in choosing the if you don't choose the right topic, probably like the decision, like sometimes you will not be able to complete on time. Most of the people have not even completed also, they have even dropped. Okay, that kind of situation should not come. Then formulation, the process of refining the research ideas into research questions and objectives. Formulation means translating and transforming the selected research problem, topic, idea into a scientifically researchable question. It is concerned with specifying exactly what the research problem is. Just I'll give one simple example. Like suppose, for example, sales is decreasing and profit is decreasing in a company. See, why profit is decreasing? There could be a number of problems. But you are focusing only on labor issues, or you are focusing on only marketing issues. Therefore, please define that. Okay? Like you want to pick up that among the various reasons, you pick up your marketing problem and HR problem and just do a project, okay? And just define the problem relating to that. If a problem should be specifically defined, okay? Then establishment of research objectives. See, up to this, what is that we have understood as how to select a topic and how to define the problem. Two important messages that I would like to leave behind, okay, leave with the participant is, whenever you choose a topic, please choose a topic of relevance that you are interested personally and particularly, and keep in mind the availability of resources, availability of data, and see the time availability on all these things. Don't get carried away by any other pressure, any other thing. Because most of the time I have seen and I've looked into the people of research scholars, they dropped the project also because they were not able to, okay, go ahead, proceed with the topic. They are not able to even prepare the research proposal also. Cultural diversification, there was another area, the cultural diversity in corporate sector. There was one of my friend has chosen this topic, cultural diversity. But you know, like later on, they will not be able to proceed further. And even steward leadership. There was a topic called steward leadership. Okay. One of my friend, you know, like she's no more now, and she has taken a steward leadership. It was not able to be defined very clearly, and like proper research review of literature has not been done, and she could not further proceed on that topic. Therefore, such kind of okay, like problem should not come, because my wish, okay, to all my younger research scholars is, whenever you choose a topic, it should be researchable and you should complete it successfully within the given time. Okay, now establishing the research objectives. See, research objectives are the specific components of the research problem that you will be working to answer or complete in order to answer the overall research problem. See, after you define the research problem, then you want to specifically mention the research objectives. See, problem is one, okay, then we want to identify, even for example, when the sales is decreasing in a company and profit is decreasing in a company, and you identified the marketing, you identified several problems. Even if it is at marketing level, yes, you should split each objectives into single. Most of the time, the guide will advise you also that the objective, whatever that you are setting the objective, it should be such that each objective should be converted to an objective, sorry, hypothesis. See, for example, you want to conduct the lifestyle, okay, to study the lifestyle of youth. That is one objective. My own example is, I want to conduct the lifestyle with you. That is my objective. For that, what I'm doing, I'm creating an hypothesis. I'm formulating an hypothesis. After formulating an hypothesis, what is it I'm doing? Okay, just I'm collecting the data that is relevant for testing that hypothesis. After collecting the data, what I'm doing, I'm analyzing the data and I'm going to put that particular hypothesis into test. And finally, I'll come out whether it is I'm accepting or rejecting. So this is the correlation should be there. Okay, one thing, please, all of you keep it in mind that a research is a correlation should be there. Whatever the title, you see, title, research problem, then what do you call the objectives of the study, hypothesis, data collection, analysis, and testing the hypothesis. All these things has to be in a linear equation. There should be a correlation among all these things. That has to be looked into. For that, you have to define the objectives. Review of literatures, I'll not go into much. Okay, I'll, with the permission of the chair, with the permission of the team members, probably I can take another 10 more minutes, I believe. Okay, 10 to 15 minutes I'll take, so that we will spend last 10 minutes for discussion. Okay, review of literature. How important the review of literature is? Review of literature is the documentation of a comprehensive review of the published and unpublished work from secondary sources of data in the areas of interest to research. So I have seen the success rate of research scholars is purely related to review of literature. The one who did a thorough review of literature can easily identify the gap and I can understand. For your information, for my topic, I did the review of literature of around 400 topics. 400 research articles have seen. I've just referred. I've downloaded, okay, most of the, okay, like, downloaded and referred most of the articles. Even like, even my, okay, guide, okay, Dr. Venugopal sir has really appreciated that around 400, descriptions of this particular review of literatures I've downloaded and made it that, like what you call abstract of that 400 different papers. I made it a small booklet running to around 200 pages. I made it as a booklet. Even today, I have it with me. What is that I did is, like, first I have chosen that, I'll come to that night, okay, and how you have to do it. Probably in that case, I can tell you. Like, we have to just, whatever the topic that is relevant to you. See, what are the keywords that is for me is lifestyle, youth, consumer behavior, individual behavior, family buying behavior, urban area, rural area. 7 key areas were there for me. Putting the 7 key areas, I've got so many, but I've restricted only to 400 articles, and I've restricted to 400. I've taken the 400 abstracts, and I just copied all those things and put it in one MS Word file, and I made it as a separate booklet of review of literatures containing 400 abstracts. After that, what is that I did? I just started out all rural, okay, because my study had rural, my study had urban, my study had family buying behavior, individual buying behavior, lifestyle of youth, and so many things. Then as per the objectives, I just, sorted out all those things, and then, okay, this is the process. I think it's not that whatever I did has to be done by everybody. Just I'm sharing my personal experience with you that, okay, if you do like this, what happens? Your job will be easy. See, review of literature is nothing but that is where the most of the research, the success or failure of research depends on this. Okay, one advantage is review of literature, according to me, is not only for identifying the gap, but also to understand. See, when I did this review of literature for lifestyle variables, I got around 188 different variables and sub-questions for lifestyle using the AIO technology, okay, AIO methods, activity, interest, and opinion, for testing the lifestyle of the, okay, youth. Out of 188 questions, I just shorted and I brought it down to 58 questions, and I gave it in my questionnaire. The review of literature, most of us understand that, okay, review of literature will only help to identify the gap. When once the gap is identified, my job is over. No, it's not that. It's not only for that. When you do review of literature, I am telling you, the more and more review of literature that you do, your research job will be very, very simple. It will be easy for you because you're learning from others. The more and more that you learn, obviously your job of conducting research will become easy. Therefore, this is a review of literature, like you have to keep something in mind. The purpose of review of literature is to gain background knowledge of the research topic, to identify the concepts relating to it, potential relationship between them, and to formulate researchable hypotheses, to identify appropriate methodology, to identify data sources used by other researchers, and to learn how others structured the report. You see, in this particular slide, we can see used by others, used by others. Probably you might be asking a question, sir, are we not copying from others? No, yeah, we have to learn from others. Okay, like, Dr. Muradhar sir has taught me something in costing when I was a student. I learned from him. It's not copying. I learned from him. I'm using that. Okay. Therefore, we will be learning from others. Those have already did. Okay. Those have already did. We are learning from them. And we should not do the same thing. That is what copy. That is where plagiarism comes. Okay. We are not doing the same copy work. We are learning from them. What they have not done, we are going to do it. Therefore, review of literature is very, very important. I think like most of the universities, like they are very rigid nowadays. Okay, of late I've come across that, as there's a huge demand for the social science research in academics, the guides have become very choosy. Unless until I get a student with hard working, I will not take. Other day I came across one of my computer science friend who wants to submit a research proposal. He has submitted the research proposal to the prospective guide. What guide said, okay, I've seen this particular proposal, but you have to publish 2-3 papers on this and then come back to me. I'll give you guideship. Sir, I'll give you, okay, like, vacancy for doing PhD. Now the guides have become, because of too much demand, I'm not blaming the guide, the guides have become too choosy now. Unless until you go with the quality, people will not give you, okay, they will not take you, even if there is a vacancy. One thing, because of this too much of demand, probably I feel that the quality of research will improve. And everybody, whoever thinks to do PhD cannot be able to do now because of the great demand that's existing now. The quality will come. Okay, therefore, whatever the research that we do, there should be a quality, there should be a purpose, there should be a contribution, there should be self-satisfaction. So at the end of the day, generally we say that about doing this PhD is a very hectic task. Only after a hectic task, if you get the doctor before your name, that only will give you satisfaction, not any kind of easy degrees. Okay, therefore, my sincere submission and request to all the participants who are going to do PhD is, or even some of the senior teachers, of course, I don't want to tell the senior teachers, and making the research scholars to do a thorough research will become mandatory here onwards and has to be done. The process of conducting research review is identify the relevant sources, extract and record the relevant information. This is what I did. Okay, identify the relevant sources. Okay? Because I have taken the keywords of lifestyle, youth, consumer behavior. Then I have taken rural area, urban area, something like that. Okay, keywords I have taken, identified the relevant sources. Of course, thanks to the Google, I could collect all these things. Even I went to Tumkur University library. And really, okay, I'm fortunate to do with Tumkur University because, like a very good library resources I could download from them. And they've given permission to download some of the articles from their, internet on all these databases. And I've downloaded, okay, and around 400 articles that I could able to gather. Then after that, extract and record the relevant information. I did so. All these things, whatever I did is, okay, whatever is there available with me that I have just, made it a small, a separate booklet of, then write up the review of literature. And after doing all these things, I started writing up. I had 5 different objectives. For every 5 objectives, okay, I had around, 30 to 40 a review of literature sightings I have referred in my final thesis. Out of this 400, okay, like I brought it down to 108. For my 5 different objectives I've given category wise. Really it was a very nice experience for me. Therefore, I'm sharing with all of you that if you do like this, your project, your thesis work will become easy and you can have commendability on your topic. And sources, of course, all of you know, books, journals, electronic databases, okay, and abstract databases. Nowadays, like actually when Dr. Muralidhar sir and all did PhD at that time, I am sure that you will agree with me that this much of information, this much of technology was not there. But we are all really fortunate with their guidance. Really, we are all fortunate to have this kind of exposure to information technology, and we can do a lot of these exercises. Even to share my own example, in 1997, when I did my MPhil, all these facilities was not there, 97, 98. Even I used to go to IIM library, okay, Bannerghatta Road. Very often I used to go and visit and refer all these articles and all. But for PhD, I didn't do that because, because of information technology and all these things. If we just keep it in mind that review of literature is very, very important. It is very time-consuming process. I do agree. Number 1, it requires a lot of patience. Of course, number 2, and you should have a lot of continuity on this. Okay, you should have a consistent effort. It's not that you do review of literature today and after 6 months you just go back to internet and Google the same site. You may not even get also. So if you're referring through one site today, okay, that link you should save and you should at least see, okay, continuously for some time. Therefore, consistency is very, very important. Fine. Okay, hypothesis area I'll not touch because anyhow Vidya ma'am is going to take you, okay, in detail. Okay, probably I can leave this, okay. A hypothesis is an assumption about relation between variables. I just tell you what is hypothesis and how significant and how important it is. See, hypothesis, it's an assumption, of course. As all of you know, hypothesis is a tentative assumption. But for most of these social science research, the hypothesis is a must because that is where we are going to collect the data, analyze the data, okay, and we are going to accept the hypothesis or reject the hypothesis. Hypothesis formulation is really an art. I'm sure that, okay, when you attend the session of Divya ma'am, you will certainly understand about the hypothesis and its formulation. See, hypothesis, as I've said, suppose, for example, I want to understand that, I felt that, most of the time the youngsters are influencing the shopping. Is it so? I want to just conduct a study. If I want to compare, I want to set an hypothesis. In my thesis, I have set 10 different hypotheses. And 10 different hypotheses has been, okay, like, for all the 10 different hypotheses, the data has been collected, tabulated, analyzed, and alternate hypothesis and null hypothesis. In some cases, null hypothesis accepted and alternate rejected, and vice versa. Therefore, hypothesis is a part and parcel of your PhD thesis and for MPhil dissertation, of course. Sometimes I come across some MCOM students using hypothesis. Okay, they don't know what is ABC of hypothesis, but they will be using. But I always discourage. Okay, no, you are too young to use hypothesis. I reject them if they come out with hypothesis, because they would have seen somewhere some project, they would have copied pasted. Okay. The hypothesis is something very much unique for social science research, and we have to use this hypothesis, and that particular statement has to be proved through statistics. That is what you have a separate session on hypothesis we can discuss over there. And problem is different and hypothesis is different. Okay, please don't get confused with this. Okay, problem is different. Even I also initially had some doubts. Therefore, this I want to tell you. So whatever the problem, see, problem is profit is increasing in a company is a problem. Hypothesis is like, the quality of the product is good or not good, and competitive product is still better than, better than your goods or something like that. Okay. See, problem is profit is increasing, sorry, decreasing. And hypothesis could be, there could be a number of hypotheses. For example, I tell you a very simple example. In a company, consistently the profit is decreasing. Continuously the profit is decreasing. What could be the reason? Can we blame only marketing department? Can we blame only finance department? Can we blame only HR department? Or can we blame only the logistics? Therefore, we will be creating hypothesis, which is a major cause of reason for declining profits. Okay. Therefore, we will make a statement. That's it. See, just by making a statement, it doesn't mean that, okay, we are degrading someone or we are degrading something. Suppose if I say somebody is not good, somebody is not good is only my statement. It's not final decision. The final decision and verdict will come only after conducting research. Before that, the verdict will not come. Therefore, just making a statement doesn't, okay, it's not to offend anybody, to offend anything. Because we need some base to start with, okay. That hypothesis is nothing but a base that gives us, okay, that gives like a base for us to start with that particular topic. Now, finally, to conclude the last but one slide, research design. See, in the research process, the entire research process, okay, as I've shown you earlier, okay, the research design is a part of the research process, okay. Suppose, for example, if you take here, the research design comes here, but actually research design is a part of the entire research process. In this entire research process, okay, research design comes, and research design, how important it is probably for research design itself, we can have a separate session on that research design itself, because research design is going to decide the destiny of your research, I can tell you. I think almost all the universities will give you a registration for PhD based on the research proposal submission. If I'm not wrong, and okay, like probably like, if I'm wrong, like Dr. Muridhar sir and other guides and other senior teachers will be knowing this very well, that, whatever the proposal that we submit will be taken for discussion in the, okay, research committee meetings. In the research committee meeting, these topics and proposal will be taken into discussion. Nowadays, the guides have gone, the universities have gone a step beyond, that they want the candidate to even present the research proposal like a colloquium. They want to give, even before registration, they want to give. Therefore, research design is very, very important. It's like a road map. It's like a Google map. Okay, from Bangalore to, okay, Dharwad, we need to travel. We take the Google map, and Google map will show the direction, and we'll be moving towards the destination, correct? Therefore, research design is such a kind of, okay, road map. It's like a director who is directing a movie. Research design is the script that a director, that a research scholar can hold to conduct the entire research. Therefore, according to Kellinger, research design is a plan, structure, and strategy of investigation conceived so as to obtain answers to research questions and solutions to the research problem. What a beautiful definition he has given. It is a plan, it is a structure, it is a strategy also sometimes, okay. Therefore, if at all, if you want to win over this particular problem, or if you want to find a answer to the question, or if you want to find a solution to a problem, obviously this research design should be there in your hand. It's like a roadmap for you. Therefore, research design is very, very important. It's also called as a research proposal. Even I remember that, I have registered for PhD based on the research proposal that has been submitted to the university along with my application. in the research committees, they used to, okay, review committee, they used to review this particular topic. Is this particular topic is already been done? Is the topic is relevant to the present day situation? Is the candidate is able to do this particular topic? Sometimes I give a topic which is beyond my imagination to do. They will call for a personal interview also. In the interview, they will just examine me. If I'm not that potential in successfully completing the project of my topic, what is that I have given, probably they will even reject my application also. They will not even allot me, okay, seats. The research proposal is the beginning. And in research design, you have selection of the topic and all these things, right? Now, just in the last slide of mine, okay, just I'll take another 4 minutes with permission of the organizers, like components of the research design. Therefore, please all of you understand that, a research design, as I've said, it is a roadmap. It's a proposal. Again, it's a proposal. It's not final. At any point of time, even right from the day one, if you want to, okay, register for the topic, register for PhD in any university and any area, you must have a very good research design. Even those who are have aspiration to do PhD, but right now we are not finding the university, no university is called. Still, you can do it. Now only you can do this, no problem. Anytime you can keep this ready with you. And now there are some universities that have gone a step beyond the research proposal. They are even asking to publish papers in the leading journals and magazines and then come. UGCK journals, and then please come to me and approach me for the research vacancies. Therefore, now it's going to be too tough because of the huge demand. Even in our period also we had tough. It's not that too easy to get PhD, vacancies from universities and do PhD, because always the PhD seats will be limited in number, and it is a year-long project. It's not like MCom, MBA, wherein a student will complete in 1 year, 2 year, and the guides will get vacancy and we can just keep doing PhD. Most of the time it is 6 years, 7 years project. It will take some time for the guides also to get the vacancy. Therefore, please understand, to conclude this particular session with this last slide, title of the study, you have to be very clear and you have to mention the title of the study. Most of the time, the title of the study there will be an ambiguity. That should not be there, okay? The title should be very clear and you should define the problem. The problem should be well defined. Generally, we say to the student, a problem well understood is all solved. I tell you, more than to the student, it is very much applicable to the research scholars. Any research scholar, he or she understands the problem, what is that he or she has taken for his research. I am sure that half of the research is being done for them, because they will get the confidence. Once they get the confidence, yes, half of the project is done. Review of literature, I said, the significance of review of literature, it's very, very important. And operational definitions of the concept. See, for the researcher, there will be different concepts will come. For example, in my case, youth, I need to define what is youth for me. According to the National Youth Policy, the persons who is falling under the age of 19 to 24, 15 to 29 is comes under the youth. Therefore, my definition of youth is like this. My definition of individual behavior is like this. Okay, therefore, if at all if you come across some specific concepts which is used only in your particular thesis or study, you have to define that. That is a definition, operational definition of the concepts. Scope of the study, that's nothing but the area, boundary, limitation. And that need to be defined very clearly. Content or coverage of the study. Objectives of the study, I have said already that, okay, based on the problem, the objectives has to be created. And for every objective, there should be a hypothesis. And for every hypothesis, there is a data collection. And all the data need to be analyzed using the suitable statistical techniques, okay, which I'm sure that Professor Girish sir is going to take on regression analysis, and one more professor is going to take on the various tools and techniques of analyzing the financial statements. And Dr. Usha madam is going to take on preparing the questionnaire and validation of the questionnaire. Of course, all these topics in the days to come is something unique, but my topic is overall, okay, of course, okay. Whatever I'm doing is just I'm sowing the seed of this particular research to all of you. I'm sure that I'm not, such great personality to inspire all of you, but this particular first lecture is a little inspiration in making you inspire about this topic, and that inspiration should come. Okay, generally we'll say that, if some student is not that active enough, probably we used to tell them, okay, if you're not active like this, okay, we will just, unless until that student gets inspired, we cannot make him active. Then sampling technique, of course, sampling technique comprises of your sample plan, sampling technique method, and sample design, sample unit. All the three together we call it as sampling technique. And sources of data, as you know that, okay, the primary and secondary sources, how the data need to be collected. I think Usha ma'am is going to explain how to structure the questionnaire and how to validate it and all those things. And the chapter scheme. Chapter scheme is nothing but we are going to present. How are you going to present the thesis? What are all the chapters it's going to have and what it's going to contain in every chapter, what it is going to have, and all these things we need to mention in the chapter scheme. And finally, the limitations of the study. As I've said in one of the previous slide that, we have to frankly accept the limitations. Okay, there is nothing wrong in it. See, limitations of the study is nothing but the disclaimer clause. I think most of you would have observed whenever the recommendations for the stock is given, whenever the results are announced, whenever the stock prices are given in the newspapers and all, there will always be a disclaimer clause. Disclaimer clause is nothing but a clause that states that, neither the editor nor the paper is responsible for any decision that you take based on this particular report. There could be some error. That's called limitations. The limitations of the study should be clearly mentioned in this particular research design. Therefore, this research design is nothing but your proposal. And even before you start your research, certainly you should have this proposal in hand. This proposal is a roadmap for you. And whatever you're going to discuss in the days to come, everything is covered in this particular research proposal. Therefore, just keep it in mind that a research proposal will certainly give you an idea. Because this is where most of your doubt has been clear. See, when you prepare the research proposal, when the research design is ready with you, and this is one of the chapter also for your final thesis. And most of the time, even if you have to get permission for submitting the thesis, the final thesis in the university will ask you to submit the final synopsis. It's called final synopsis. One thing, what is the relevance I'm telling you? See, research design is not that simple. This is the backbone of the entire research, I can tell you. See, this is required to be prepared even before registration, and it is required to be prepared even before the submission of this thesis also. We call it as final synopsis. Only on acceptance of the final synopsis, the committee will grant you permission to submit the final thesis. And they will call you for a colloquium. Colloquium also they will call only after this. And after that, is probably after making corrections, will be submitting the thesis. Therefore, even for the procedure wise, for the simplicity wise, for the conviction wise, okay, one has to be good in preparing the research design. And one more thing I'll tell you, even for submitting, even for publishing papers in the leading journals, this research design is very, very important. Because any paper and every paper, what is that you publish, should have certainly these content should be there in that. Say you want to publish a paper in a UGCK journal or recognized journal, yes, obviously all this content has to be there. Therefore, I tell you that research design is very, very important. It is the backbone of the research. Fine. Okay, after this, let us fine. Okay, to conclude today's session on the overview of the research process, honestly tell you what is that I was intent to cover today is to just tell you what is research and what is the significance of research and what are the characteristic features of research and how a research can claim himself or herself to be a good researcher and what are the essential qualities should be there for a researcher. Because at the end of the day, we all, after putting so much of efforts, we all should become a good researcher, not for the sake of doing PhD, but we all should claim that, yes, I gained some knowledge in research. Whatever the topic that I have taken for my research is really useful for me and useful to the society. I can further, do research on this, and probably we can do doctoral research also. Therefore, keeping in mind, I made a small attempt to, create that feel among all of you that, research is something unique and it's a part of life. To conclude, research is a continuous process with a view to improve our knowledge, contribute to the society, make way for innovation, protect ourselves from the threat of nature, and explore the new areas which were hidden hitherto in all walks of life. Research is not confining to one particular walk of life, and it is a part and parcel of the mankind itself. Therefore, generally, as all of you know that, as Sir M. Vishweshwari has said, industrialize or perish. Now it is high time and very good time, and it's right to say that now research or perish. If you don't do the research, if you're not into research, and if you're not doing the research, be it in any walks of life, be it in medicine, be it in aerospace, be it in aviation, be it protecting ourselves from the natural calamity, or be it protecting ourselves from the COVID also for that matter. See, today we can protect ourselves from COVID thanks to the research of finding the vaccine. Therefore, it's very right to say that research or perish. Therefore, as long as the mankind exists, research need to be there, and research also will exist. Okay, thank you one and all for your patient listening. And now the session is open for discussion. Probably if anybody has any doubts through some means and methods, you can raise the issues. Probably any question that you can have, we can take up in the chat box, or we can unmute yourself. If the organizer permits you to unmute, you can unmute yourself, and you can raise the questions also. Any questions on any of the topics of discussion or any general nature, because this topic is not specific to a particular hypothesis or sample design or measurement scale or something like that. It's open to it is generic in nature. Therefore, even if you have anything to share with your own experiences is also fine. The other participants also will have an opportunity to learn. Probably would have taken a topic and change the topic from so and so to so and so, as why you have made so and what made you to change. Probably the platform is now open for the discussion among the participants or asking any questions to me as well. Okay, any questions to any of the participants?
Any queries?
Any queries?
Participants? If you have any queries, put it in the chat box. Sir, there is a query.
Yeah.
Despite of putting the maximum effort and even making the students to understand the concepts better, they're not focused and showing interest in doing research as per our expectations. What is your response in this regard?
Okay, it's a good question, but my answer could be to this is, what kind of students we are talking about? Actually, like according to me, the research should not be imposed on student up to PhD. Probably post like for MPhil and PhD, yes, we can think of like making the student to do research. But like at UG level and PG level, they are too young to do a research. But our Honorable Vice Chancellor said that like research starts from the school age also. But thing is, like research, if you want to do a quality research, probably at UG and PG level we cannot do it. PG level also we can make them to do only a project preparation, but not a research like MPhil dissertation. The target audience for this as of now is MPhil and PhD only. Okay, we are not expecting a UG and PG student to do research. At least PG we can think, but the UG it's not that okay. Probably till UG level we cannot even expect the students to think of, because they will be studying research methodology, but they are not that competent enough to do it. Therefore, I'm telling you, let us not focus on the audience whom we cannot rely on to do a quality research.
There is one more query, sir, by Anushka. Okay, BV Anushka. How to manage the mismatch of mindset of guide and a researcher?
Okay. How to manage the mismatch of mindset of the guide and researcher? It's a very good question. Very, very good question. Probably, like as I've said, suppose your guide mindset is okay. For example, your guide. I don't know to tell example because of a person. I don't know to tell, but I'll tell you. There are certain circumstances and situations wherein the guide did PhD in marketing area. The guide did PhD in HR, but you are interested in finance. But if you want to convince that guide, probably you should have that kind of conviction and review of literature, and you have to put maximum efforts. You should change the mindset of the guide in such a way that even in my absence, the researcher is good enough to complete the research successfully. If you could convince the guide to that extent, I'm sure that, okay, we can change the mindset of the guide. It's possible only through our conviction. Okay, suppose for example, I did my master's in philosophy, okay, and a professor of marketing. And I did MPhil in the distribution channels. It was a match, correct? Okay, fine. The same guide has given me, the same guide, okay, the late Dr. A.S. Ravindra. Okay, I want to register with non-banking financial companies. But the guide is purely a marketing professor who did MS in MS abroad. And he was teaching and guiding on marketing and marketing related. But I am interested in non-banking financial companies. But what is that I did is, in order to match myself and with the mindset of the late Dr. A.S. Ravindra, the guide, okay, I couldn't pursue that particular topic because of the sad demise of the Dr. A.S. Ravindra. Later I did in this present topic now. But I have created my topic is a study on the marketing strategies of non-banking financial companies. Therefore, marketing also I brought to fulfill the needs of my guide, and finance also I brought. Therefore, ultimately it's a topic of marketing strategies of non-banking financial companies. Therefore, my guide got convinced. I also got. It's a win-win situation. It's possible. You have to think a topic like that. Okay. Therefore, only the thing is like, but at any cost, with due respect to all the guide, I also may become a guide in future, but with due respect to all the guide, please never ever, okay, go along only with the mindset of the guide, because ultimately you need to do it. Okay, you have to do it as a research scholar. Therefore, try to convince the guide to give him the permission and give him an assurance, sir, I will certainly do it, and prove that. Okay, that's possible, Anushka.
Sir, could you please stop sharing the screen so that
okay,
we can see the participants? Any other queries? Kavishri S. I'd like to be I'd like to be anonymous. Okay, if a researcher is made on delicate issues and the solution is not accepted by few people, is there a possibility of a researcher receiving the backlash, a strong negative reaction?
Now, one thing, as far as the research is concerned, nobody is 100% perfect, and no research can be perfectly done. Okay. See, as long as you are convinced and your consciousness says that, okay, I did a quality work and I got this particular, research with hard work. See, that findings, okay, ignoring what I call the some of the criticism of the people, okay, post. If the criticisms are good, as probably that can be taken as a positive criticism that can be corrected in future. Therefore, like at particular point of time, we need to ignore. And moreover, even in research also, we have a sampling error that, whatever the statistical output is there, that will not be 100% accepted as it is. And all the output is subject to sampling error as well. Therefore, just it's a mindset that we need to change. Suppose, if we keep this mindset, probably we will not be able to do anything confidently.
Any other queries?
Any other queries?
Yeah, we can just move ahead, sir.
Yeah.
It was a very wonderful session which consisted of basics of research process, like research design, components, and other topics included. Thank you so much for your valuable proposals. So thank you so much. Now we'll move further. Now I request Dr. D.N. Madhusudan Reddy, sir, Assistant Professor, Head of Commerce Department, GFGC GAURIBIDANUR, to deliver vote of thanks. Sir?
Hello?
Sir, over to you, sir.
Okay. Honorable Vice Chancellors Kempraju sir, Dr. Muralidhar sir, today's resource person Swaminathan sir, and all the participants and my colleagues, a warm and cherishable good afternoon to one and all. It gives me an immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks and acknowledge the contributions of those who contributed for the success of this FDP. On behalf of Department of Commerce, Government First Grade College, GAURIBIDANUR, Department of Management, IQAC, and Academic Research Group. So I am proposing this vote of thanks. So at the outset, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor of Bengaluru North University, Professor T.D. Kempraju sir, for gracing this occasion and delivering inaugural session. Sir is very generous. Sir said, never said no. Sir never said no whenever I met him with issues relating to admissions and approval of the students. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for gracing this occasion. I would like to express my deep sense of thanks to Dr. S. Muralidhar, Chief Mentor of Academic Research Group and Chief Advisor of this Faculty Development Program. Sir always stands with me and my department. Sir visited almost 4 to 5 times to our college. So he is helping me, guiding me in all aspects, not only in personal aspects and but also in professional aspects. So he is the man behind this FDP. Sir, thank you very much, sir, Murali sir. Next, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. C. Swaminathan, a friend of mine, for delivering an excellent overview of the research process. Sir, your session was excellent, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to thank all the resource persons of the next sessions in the coming days. Dr. H.S. Anita Madam, Registrar of Davangere University, Dr. Airala Lokanand Reddy, so Department of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad, Dr. B.N. Girish, a friend of mine, Dr. Sai Ram, Dr. Divya Madam, Dr. Usha Devi Madam, Dr. Balaji and Dr. R.S. Narendra for sparing their valuable time. Thank you one and all. Next, I would like to extend my thanks to Professor B.R. Gangadharaya, IQAC coordinator of our college, for his constant support. Thank you Gangadharaya sir. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Jabiullah, head of the Department of Management, so for taking risk of organizing technical risk of organizing this seminar. Thank you, Jabiullah sir. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to my colleagues of the departments of both Department of Commerce and Management, MG Suresh Babu sir, Manju sir, Akshata madam, Parvatama madam. Thank you. And I extend my sincere thanks to all my colleagues of the college for supporting directly or indirectly. Thank you one and all. Last but not least, I would like to extend thanks to all participants for participating in the faculty development program. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. Madam, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Feedback link is given in the chat box. Participants are requested to use the feedback link for providing the feedback for the session. And it is compulsory to give feedback for every day so that you can get e-certificate. And now I request all the participants to just turn on your videos so that we can take the photo. Please turn on the video.
Done, madam. You can conclude.
Okay, sir. So thank you one and all. There is a feedback link. Please use the feedback link and just share your feedback for today's session. Thank you so much for the participation. Tomorrow we shall meet with the same link. So log in with the same link sharply at 10:50 a.m. in the morning. Okay, thank you one and all. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much from my end. Okay, I
Thank you,
sincerely
sir.
thank Dr. Muralidhar sir for having given this opportunity. And I thank one and all and thank organizers. Okay, wish you good luck for all other programs in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Akshata madam. Dear participants, please make use of the feedback link provided in the chat box. This link won't be shared in the WhatsApp group.
Participants are requested to use the feedback link given in the chat box itself. It is not to be shared in any WhatsApp group. Please use the feedback link given in the chat box.